Hey, all right, welcome back to Raff's Brain, a show about things that are interesting to me. I am your host, Rob Rafferty. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my tens of loyal listeners across the land, thank you so much for tuning in. It's time for another edition of Drive and Jive. Yes, Drive and Jive. Those words rhyme, and they also describe what's about to happen. I'm on a drive. I'm going to jive. And jive is slang for just talking smack, talking trash, talking whatever comes out of my butt. It's just what's going to happen over the next, half an hour, 45 minutes. I'm on my way back from the OBX, which stands for Outer Banks. If you know, you know. If you don't, I don't know where you've been, but hey, it's cool. It took me a while to figure out what OBX stood for before I was part of that tribe, and I went down there as much as I do now. I was confused, I would have to be honest. Sometimes you see a bumper sticker or a license plate and you're just like, what does that mean? I can't translate it. I thought it was like Obi-Wan. Is this like a new version of Obi-Wan Kenobi's, like an OBX? I don't know what's going on. I didn't understand it. But when you know, then you realize it's, oh yeah, OBX, banks. There's no A in that. So the abbreviation works sort of like airports. You know, they have like 3-letter acronyms. And sometimes they make sense, sometimes they don't. Las Vegas is some crazy McNamara or something airport, and it's like MAC or something. And I'm like, what is that? When I always look at that and I think, Lost, shouldn't it be LAS? Las Vegas? That might be some other place. What about LAX? Yeah, you know where that is. DCA, that makes sense. DC Airport. IAD kind of throws me off. IAD, that's Dulles. I guess the D stands for Dulles, maybe International Airport of Dulles. Bottom line is OBX, which might be, I don't know if that might not be the flight letters of that airport. There is an airport in that land, of course, as we all should know. If you listen to my show previously, I do a couple recordings from the Outer Banks, and I often, or I almost always, will reference the Wright Bros, W-R-I-G-H-T. That is the two bros, the bicycle shop owners from Dayton, Ohio, whose names were what? Wilbur and Orville. Now that's an interesting thing. Is that the sequence? That's how I tend to say that at all times. Wilbur and Orville Wright. Or do you say Orville and Wilbur Wright? I think it's always Wilbur first, but I could be 100% honest with you right now. I don't know which one was the older one. I think it's Wilbur and Orville Wright. And Wilbur was the firstborn, and Orville was the secondborn. Does that sound right? Does that sound correct? Birth order does affect your personality, allegedly. I don't know. I have to do some research on this and understand what it means to be Wilbur versus Orville. I think they had a sister, too, by the way. She was cool. She was an important part of the equation. She's not referenced a lot. I don't remember her name. But I know I'm pretty sure she exists. I think that's true. Hope I'm not fibbing here. I think she was supportive of their efforts. But yeah, if you don't know that that's where the flight occurred in the Outer Banks, Kitty Hawk, baby. They did some research to find just the right place where there was the wind gusts and stuff. They did all the research, the meteorological studies and stuff. And that's where that was, man. They were like, yeah, we're going there. And it was old school, man. Outer Banks at that point didn't have the brew-through, for instance. It didn't have, stack 'em high pancakes. I think it's been there for a while. They may have been the original chain may have started there about the time of the Wright Bros. It might have existed. Uncle Flapjack's shack of gravy. It probably did exist when they were down there. But it was a pretty desolate era. Outside of the pancake houses, I think there wasn't much going down in Outer Banks, and you had to take a canoe or whatever over to get there. They didn't have the Wright Brothers Bridge. That would have been funny if the Wright Brothers are trying to make their way from Ohio to the Outer Banks, because that's what the National Weather Service said was the best place to, fly to Mars or whatever. And they go, hey, check it out. There's the Wright Brothers Bridge. Wow, they've really rolled out the red carpet for us, I thought that we were coming down here. We're going to have to take a rowboat across the inlet. What do you call that part of the ocean? The Sound. Lo and behold, they got the Wright Bros Bridge. Are there some other Wright Brothers doing stuff important that we don't know about? That would be a funny thing if there was the Wright brother who invented, air conditioning for cars or something, and he got his action on, and the brothers there. What if there were two other Wright brothers, the other Wright brothers? And they had the bridge, and it's a funny idea. That's all. I'm just throwing that out there. I could work with that. We have to deconstruct that concept a little bit. Anyway, where was I going with all this? Oh yeah, Outer Banks. OBX isn't necessarily the most obvious acronym. I don't think that acronym is the call letters or whatever they call it for the airport down there. I think that airport is called First Flight, because that's where the first flights took off, man. That makes sense, right? The memorial's pretty cool down there. It's a pretty nice place to visit. The airport's not much. It's like a little grass strip. I've never flown into or out of the Wright Brothers First Flight Airport. I don't know what the call letters are. It should be OBX, but maybe it might be Wright Bro. WBRO. There's only 3, so I don't know what it would be. Wright Bro. What I was getting at was OBX assumes that you have some basic knowledge of the region because there's no letter A in there. If you just take the letters by themselves, O, B, X, and you try to spell that out, OBX. There's no A, N. You're skipping really important syllables and pronunciations, man. You have to know those letters wouldn't make sense but for your pre-existing knowledge of the Outer Banks. And this is what I think also happens in a lot of personalized license plates, especially as time marches on and personalized license plates become ubiquitous in society. I have one, we all have one. It seems like everywhere you look, it's more common to have a personalized license plate than unpersonalized. It's like tattoos. They used to be special, and now they're ubiquitous, and everyone's got one. So you don't really stand out as much. And so there's so many personalized license plates, and there's only so few actual letters and words that can be constructed within the constraints of a license plate. You don't get 32 characters or whatever. That should be changed. Why can't we enhance? Actually, license plates, that is a place that is ripe for innovation. Why can't we focus the energy of society to improve license plates? I would make them digital. I would enable us to put little messages on there, like we could talk to each other via the license plates of our car. There are other ways that we can track down the bad guys. License plates used to be all about hey, I just saw someone rob a bank and the getaway car, and this was the license plate, and I can't remember. No, I can remember, because they had a personalized license plate, which was, bonkers or something. It was something really bizarre but memorable. Often that's not the case. Usually the criminals take the license plates off. If I remember from the movies, they take a nickel or a dime and they unscrew it from some other car somewhere in the world, and they swap plates, and that throws people off or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, we should be innovating in license plates much greater degree than we are, because the problem is, and it's only going to get worse, you have letters and numbers that people use as substitutes. The 8, for instance, could be the word 8 could actually stand for 8, or it might be the letter B. Because if there's a certain word and the letter B's already been used by someone else with a license plate who had the same idea, it doesn't quite work out, man. So anyway, I hope that Elon Musk and other smart people will get to work on this idea. I just put it out to the world and let things happen. Innovation and license plates. We need new technologies, especially with all these autonomous vehicles coming along. They should be talking to each other. They should be communicating. What else are we going to do in the car? If I'm not driving, this car is driving for me. I'm probably sleeping, partying. There might be some other activities. I don't know. You gotta be careful, man, with those autonomous cars. If you're not paying attention, I might be having Thanksgiving leftover. I don't know. I could just be having 3-course meals, all I'm saying. It might be an extraordinary dining experience. That's going to be something that happens. Autonomous vehicles with, I don't know, Taco Bell sponsored chalupas getting kicked out every 5 minutes, stuff in your face, and then the next thing you know, you get home and you're just like, I'm satiated. And then, do you even need to stop? I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work. That's all I'm saying. I like it. I'm embracing it. I'm ready for it. But don't get me wrong. I like driving. I'm not just going to give it up. I like to drive. I'll probably drive till the day I die, if it's still legal. I could imagine a world, I think I've said this before, I'm not trying to be redundant, but I just, I don't assume that anybody who listens to my podcast has ever listened to all the other episodes. And but I think I've mentioned this, and it's not an original idea. It's not a Raff's Brain original. It's something I picked up or heard somewhere else, and it was a very interesting thought experiment. And it was for a kid that's born today. And I know there are some youngins out there. I have I guess what we call her, a grand niece. Is that what you call them at this age? Uh-oh, where am I going? Stay strong, stay strong. Just checking I better turn on I have the Waze kicking here. I want to make sure I don't miss my exit. I do have a pretty good recollection of where I'm going. I'm on the 95 north, passing Potomac Mills right now as I chat with you. And man, I don't want to jinx it, but the traffic's been pretty light today. It's a Sunday morning. It's about 9:30. I got up early. The secret to getting home from the Outer Banks to the DC metropolis, if you will, the DMV area, is you just gotta travel at off hours. 95 is like a major artery, and it's like heart attack man artery, because this dude's been let's say, if you think of the highways and byways and roads, they do refer to them as arteries, right? This is a major artery. They don't call them veins, which is interesting. I think we could look into that a little bit. Anti-vein tendency among traffic reporters is kind of strong, but they do talk about arteries, or they also don't reference capillaries. But the point is, if you imagine the United States as a map, and the road systems are the veins and arteries and capillaries, yes, I would be all-inclusive in how I describe them, unlike most commentators who are very anti-vein and anti-capillary. For some unexplained reason, what did arteries have to do? So, I know arteries are the ones that are pumping. Actually, it's a great question. I don't know the answer off the top of my head. I wonder if you know the answer. Arteries are pumping to or away from the heart. I believe it's away. I think the artery is a strong push. Arteries deliver the oxygen. If you cut an artery, it's red because it's got oxygen and it's pumping out. And it usually spurts because you got arteries are really pumping. The veins are the ones that come back. It's blue, right? Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I think 7th grade Mr. Lee biology class is coming back with a vengeance. Thank you, Mr. Lee. You were a great teacher. You just have those teachers in life that you'll never forget sometimes, or just, they stick out. Their names, sometimes you don't even remember because it was just an initial, Mr. T. And that wasn't like Mr. T, the entertainer, what was his saying? I pity the fool! I pity the fool! Mr. T's still out there. I think he's still alive. I think he's just rocking it, dude. That guy was unbelievable. I think he had a crazy, like a very impressive life. Oh, what's happening? I heard you talk to me, but you're not very loud. I need more volume, baby. What's going on? HOV lane camera. Oh, shoot. They got cameras in the HOV. What's happening? Are you checking my speed here? I don't know. Yeah, that's the other interesting thing. As autonomous vehicles come into greater prominence, are they going to put governors on the cars so they don't go as fast? Or are they going to elevate the speeds and let them go way faster? Because they, presumably, if they're talking to each other and they're really hyper smart, they'll be less likely to hit each other. Actually, if you think about it, we could be much more efficient. Cars could be really close to each other if they were all connected and like mentally speaking with each other, as AI does, right? Like, think about that. Like, if my car is able to talk to 3 or 4 cars ahead of it, it can anticipate problems and see what's happening. Oh, look out, there's a pothole, there's a deer, there's a possum, there's a hitchhiker. Will people be hitchhiking? First of all, hitchhiking seems like it's really just done. I have not seen a hitchhiker since I'm trying to remember. I mean, it's been ages. I'm talking decades. And I drive a lot, man. And I drive places where you think you might see a hitchhiker. That is something to be. That's a wondrous thing. I think it's because it's illegal. Now, why did that happen? I'd like to do a little history of the hitchhiker. First of all, the idea of hitchhiking doesn't upset me. Well, this guy's driving like a maniac. Watch it. Golly. You gotta be on your toes, man, at all times. At all times, when you're driving in America, and certainly as you approach the DMV. Don't even get me started if we're crossing the border up into Maryland. My goodness, those people are kooky. They don't know how to drive or anything. It's crazy. There are stereotypes, but many are grounded in truth. At least some. In that case, it is spot on. Maryland drivers, bro. Watch out. I can't remember where I was going with all this. I had a pretty good rant going there for a second, and now I've lost it. Because the Maryland driver crept in my brain and probably destroyed an interesting thought. That's what they do, man. There's little crabs. They come in there, these little Maryland crabs. Maryland crabs. I'll tell you something. I had some crab legs down the Outer Banks. There's a really good crab joint. It's a really good crab joint down there in Kitty Hawk. It's called... What's it called? It has a funny name. It's not like... I'm not saying this as a dirty sense. I'm saying this is the name of the place. It's called I Got Your Crabs. I think it's meant to be a play on words, you know what I'm saying? Like, crabs are, I guess that's a thing. We don't need to go into that universe, but I got your crabs. That place is amazing, dude. It's no frills. It's pretty old school. It's almost like a Old West, they should get those saloon doors kicking. That would make it really authentic. But I like the AC, and of course you don't want to have the open air too much down there. It gets hot and sultry. I got your crabs. You can get Alaskan king crabs in Outer Banks. Think about that. The Wright Bros are in effect. They're touching every part of our life. I'm sure they airship that. You better not be bringing Alaska via a truck. Okay, Alaska king crab. If it's coming on a truck, you're out of luck. You better not be eating that. I don't know. I guess if they've been on ice for a week or however long it takes, dude, to get from Alaska to the Outer Banks, you're driving a lot of this country, dude. I mean, that's a haul. Now, if the AI trucks are going 24/7, maybe you could get there in a couple days. What does it take to cross this country? How much time does it take to cross and traverse America? I couldn't tell you, man. I couldn't tell you. I've only traveled about half the distance. I think I went a couple years ago to Indianapolis. It's probably the furthest I've driven west. Anything beyond that, probably I'm flying. Although increasingly, I'm just a fan of driving. Who wants to go to the airport? I don't like flying as an exercise. It's just my own issues. Okay, I think I missed my exit, bro. You were talking about crabs. All the Maryland crabbers got in your head and messed you up, bro. And it says 10 miles? That can't be right. What is happening? I'm just going to follow the instructions. I'm going to follow the instructions that are here before me. It says 10 miles. All right. I think that's wrong. I think I should have taken a different exit. We're going to find out together. And here's the thing though. I have been many times in my life, I have had deep skepticism about Waze. And guess what? Always, no exceptions, Waze has been correct. Waze knows, my friends. Waze knows. It is crowdsourcing traffic data across all the other people using it at the very moment. And it tells you how to get through, man. And so right now, I see its exit. I think I would be getting off. Like, this is where I need to get out. I'm going to do my thing. But it says keep going 9 miles. So I guess I'll do that. People are really slowing down here. What's going on? Is there like traffic cameras? This one dude's blowing past. He's going to get a ticket. Better him than me. I'm just trying to obey the law, bro. I try to stay under the speed limit. 65. 65 is a reasonable speed limit. Stay in the express lane. That's what it's telling me to do. I'm going to do what you tell me. Are you taking me to the right place? Well, I think it is. Somehow I got on the 395 North. How'd that happen? How about that? Is this called the Mixing Bowl? I don't know if this is the Mixing Bowl or not, but dude, it looks crazy. There are like 13 different multi-level roads, interstate serpentine highways. I don't even know where we are right now. It's not what I'm used to, but somehow I feel like I'm on the right path again. Remarkable. Wondrous. I've got a lot on tap, man. This is going to be a big couple of months coming up. And I want all the Raff's Brain listeners, the Brainiacs, my tens of loyal fans, friends, family members who tune in on occasion. I would like you to know something. I'm turning 50 years old on October 23rd. It's a Thursday. And that's nice because that means I can rally some people. We're going to have a little party. I'm throwing myself a little soiree, Raff's Brain style. And I'm using it as an excuse to do a little comedy one-man show performance. Maybe we'll call it Raff's Brain Live. I don't know. It's not really going to be connected to the podcast content. It's not like I'm going to be doing hot yoga problems live. It's not like I'm going to be doing a Drive and Jive episode live, just improv, freestyle, what's on my brain. I want to actually tell stories. I want to structure, I don't know if it's 30 to 45 minutes of, say, 5 to 7 minute little stories about my life that are interesting, maybe, that I want to share with the world, share with you, share with an audience. In this case, friends, family, loved ones who gather to celebrate my 50th birthday. Okay, 5.9 miles. I'm getting on Memorial Bridge. I've never even heard of that. I don't want to go into the city. What are you doing to me, bro? How am I getting home? This makes no sense to me. I gotta get off. I gotta get off this. I gotta get off. I'm in the HOV and I just got trapped, man. I got trapped. But it's telling me. And there could be other things. Waze knows. I'm telling you, Waze knows. All right. Stick with the plan, dude. Stick with the plan. It says I'm getting home in about 15 minutes. That seems unlikely. It seems like a real, but maybe there's a little shortcut. We're going to find out. But yeah, I'm going to get some friends together. If you're around, if you're listening to this podcast, you're invited. But just let me know. Hit me up. You probably know who I am. If you're listening to this show, you know me. Reach out to me. Hit me up on email. raffety@gmail is my preferred. But you can probably find other places. DM me on any of those platforms. I'll get it. Trust me. It's not like my inbox is overwhelmed with fan mail. Hit me up if you'd like to come. I've probably already invited you. If I think I know who you are and you listen to this show, you most likely are on my invite list to my 50th birthday party, October 23rd. It's going to start around 5:30. It's going to go to like 10, 9:30, 10. It's like it's a weeknight. I'm old. I can't stay out too late. But I'm going to fire it up, dude. So many good things have happened. It's going to take place at a small independent brewery called Settle Down Easy. Settle Down Easy. Yes, if you know, you know. Grateful Dead, Ramble on Rose. That's the name of the song. I don't know necessarily if that's the origin story, but I would suspect that it is. And I respect it. I have a friend who hooked me up. Let me make some introductions. It's only about 10-minute drive from my house. It's in Falls Church, Virginia, and they got some nice selection of brewhas. I'm going to buy the first 50 beers for my people, and I'll have a little nacho action from the Mexican restaurant next door, so we can snack on that too. So that's going to be a fun little evening. I'm probably going to have, I don't know, if I'm lucky, 40, 50, high-end 75 to 100. Dude, I don't want to overwhelm. I don't want to, make this thing too crazy. I have to respect it's a weeknight. People are busy. I'm not so certain how this is going to go. I'm not renting the facility. It's still going to be open to the public. They have their regulars that come in. They said, look, we'll let you have the floor. You can use it. We'll set it up. You get the back room. We'll lay out the Mexicali food for you. It'll be a good time. But I didn't have to shut the place down because Rafferty's in town. Yeah. I'm not that big. I mean, I'm big. I've got some girth. But, okay. 1.6 miles. I'm going to take a left on 27 East. I don't know if I've ever done that before. I don't know if I've ever done this. This is all new to me, my friends. I need to turn up the volume. Pump up the volume. Pump up the volume. Pump up the volume. Damn! That's a great song. Maybe I'll be playing that at my birthday party. Pump up the volume. Pump up the volume. Yeah!
In 1 mile, use the left lane to exit left to State Route 27 East Memorial Bridge.
I will do as you command. Waze is in charge. I will only do what you tell me to do, and I will not deviate in any respect from your directions, ma'am. So, it says 0.5 miles, 27 East. I'm going to be turning left here just in a moment. Stick with me, folks. There's more news about the birthday party. There's more news to share. Pentagon, great. I'm going to be going to the Pentagon. Hopefully they won't pull me over because I won't look like a suspicious driver here.
Exit left to State Route 27 East Memorial Bridge.
On it. right. Don't you worry about me. What's going on? You tell me where to go. There's the Pentagon. If you're on YouTube, you could enjoy a little bit of Pentagon action. Although now that I filmed the Pentagon, I'm sure they're going to pull me over. They're probably going to be like, what is this cat doing?
In a quarter of a mile, use the right lane to exit to State Route 110 toward Pentagon North parking entrance.
Own it. Own it. I'm on it. Thank you so much, Waze. I do believe I know where I am now. But man, I didn't know how I...
Exit right to State Route 110 toward Pentagon North parking entrance.
Oh, I will.
Then stay to the right to State Route 110 North.
I'm on it. Thank you so much, Waze. You are fantastic.
Stay to the right to State Route 110 North. Then turn right to Virginia 110 North.
Oh, I'm on it, baby. It's a great way to travel. Waze knows. That is the lesson from this. If you take only one...
Turn right to Virginia 110 North.
Now, she does get a
Then
little...
continue to State Route 110 North toward Arlington Cemetery.
As much as
Continue to State Route 110 North toward Arlington Cemetery.
As much as I love Waze, and I do love me some Waze, this is not a knock against Waze. At the end of the day, I will always side with Waze, and I always will follow her wherever she tells me to go. Off a cliff, I'm going. Now, merging is a little challenging.
In 1,000 feet, use the left 2 lanes to continue straight.
But I gotta tell you something. Waze can be a little chatty. Waze can be a little chatty. As you'll see...
Continue on I-66 west toward Rosslyn Key Bridge.
At a certain point, as you approach intersections and civilization and like really crowded areas, it's like she
In
just...
3/4 of a mile, exit to I-66 west toward Front Royal
Waze.
Dulles Airport.
Come on, Waze. What? Come on, Waze. What you got going on, Waze? You talk a lot, Waze. You talk a lot.
In half a mile, use the right lane to exit right.
I got half a mile. You want to walk a mile for a camel? Or you want to walk half a mile for Route 66? I'm gonna get in here. Ow! Expect delays. Construction. Waze! What? You blew it, dude! Or maybe there's construction other places. I'm never gonna be angry with you. I'm always gonna love you, Waze. I'm never gonna be angry with you. Sorry, I lost it there. I don't like it. I saw a little construction sign. It says delays expected. But I bet if I had gone the other way, there's other delays. There's always a delay. It's like, how do you minimize the delays? That's a pretty cool catchphrase. Oh my gosh. Here's a catchphrase for Waze. Minimize the delays.
Exit right to
I'm on
I-66
it.
west toward Front Royal Dulles Airport.
Thank you. I'm turning you off now. I can't have it. The good thing is you can turn Waze off. If you know, which I do now, exactly where I am in proximity to my house. And there's no other shortcut that she could possibly define. I mean, I'm sure there is. But I think I know where I'm going, and I'm gonna roll the dice and make it. The rest of this trip, it's about 10 minutes, is gonna be all by memory. No maps. No triptychs. No map quest. I know where I'm going. I got it up here, bro. I got it. We're going to find out. If I don't, then I guess I'll have to kick Waze back on and it'll, wave the white flag. But I think I'm going to make it. I know where I am, man. I'm on 66. Mario Lemieux. Yeah! This is what this guy does. It's a shame that this highway has the same number as the greatest hockey player to ever play the game. Like, it just because I so despise Route 66, yet I so love and admire Les Magnifiques 66. And it's just one of those things, man. Opposites in life. You can hate something immensely. The number 66. But actually, I don't hate it or love it. It's the context that drives my emotional state, my pathos. Someone might ask me, what do you think of number 66? And I'll say, in and of itself, I'm indifferent to the number. It's just two number sixes, and I don't have a preference for number 6 alone either. But when you put those numbers in the context of a particular use case, a jersey number, oh, you know, I'm a big fan. I mean, it brings a smile to my face. It gives me chills just to think about it. What a cool thing. And I think they made him 66 because Wayne Gretzky, who at the time was the greatest player ever, they thought, to lace up the skates, was number 99. And I think Mario picked 66 to be no, I can do a 90, I can do 66. Actually, it's a really interesting question. The origin story of 66 as Lemieux's number, was that something he picked, or was it like someone else? That is an unknown answer to me. I'm sure that there's some lore out there. Was it intentionally a flip of Wayne Gretzky in an attempt to say, ha-ha, jiu-jitsu, we're coming to get you, I'm going to be better than you, son? And on paper, other than his injuries, which was a real travesty, man, and cancer, this guy is unbelievable. Mario Lemieux pushed through so much adversity. And so I think the argument you could make about him not being the best ever is statistically he didn't really, bypass Wayne Gretzky's data or stats. But he didn't play as long, I don't think, and he also missed some significant amounts of time due to injury. So it's really only those injuries that prevented him from demolishing all those records. Also a different era. Slightly different era. I mean, he came in, 10 years after Gretzky or something? Gretzky had the benefit of the big goals and, the goalies with little toothpick legs, The games in the 70s and early 80s were 10-8. Yeah, of course you're going to get a lot of goals. That's why I had to confess, and this is amazing. I'm going to be home in about 3 minutes. That's why I have to confess. As much as historically I've not been a big fan of the great 8, Ovechkin, I have come to respect him immensely. He's certainly gifted and talented. He broke Gretzky's career goals record, which no one ever thought would happen. And he did it in an era when we had a lot of tight defense, low-scoring games, clutch and grab, right? I don't know, is that true? I'm kind of creating this narrative in my head. I think it's true. So you got to give him props. I would say you could critique the great 8, and you could say he's a one-trick pony. Okay, but that's a hell of a trick. That's probably the greatest trick from a goal-scoring perspective you'll ever see in our lifetime. You never know, though. People always say that, oh, we'll never see another one like him. Yeah, and then you do. A generation later, they have a whole new breed. And then as you get older, you have nostalgia for the guys that you loved. And, of course, the youth, they're all about the new kids. Oh, LeBron James, the best ever. No. Jordan, hands down, undefeated. Don't even talk to me. Why would we even bother with this? There's not really a debate, is there? Okay, I'm getting close to home. I'm going to pull in. It's going to be amazing. Oh, yeah. That was awesome, bro. 40 minutes from the start of the show. I pull in, and we're good to go. Thanks for tuning in for the latest episode. Oh, my birthday. If you are still listening and you are in the DC area on October 23rd, it's a Thursday, hit me up if you'd like an invitation to my birthday party. I'm going to do a 30 to 45 minute one-man comedy performance, more like slide deck storytelling type stuff. And then I'll also have a funk band playing. Or I don't want to tell you who it is yet because They're pretty awesome, frankly, and I think I'm kind of keeping on the down low, but they're going to be an amazing addition to this. And there'll be some other friends and family. The Raff's Brainiac crew will be in there, and at least 3 or 4 people in that audience will have listened to my podcast. I'm pretty confident in that, which is neat. And that's going to be like a coming out moment. I'm going to really hit it hard. I'm going to try to do a good job with this show, and then maybe kind of get into a habit of doing more content, more live performance, storytelling. I'll record all this stuff. By the way, I know I suspect many, if not most of you, cannot be here on October 23rd. It's a Thursday night. It's in Arlington or Falls Church, Virginia, so it's not convenient. That's cool. No stress. Please don't make a special trip for this by any stretch. I will record it, and I'll post the stories and the content online. It'll be a lot of fun, maybe for you just to see what it was like at that moment. 50 years, man. It's a pretty big deal in my book. And I feel like I'm just getting started. The best is yet to come. All right, folks. Thanks so much. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye-bye.